fuck happened to the baby? I don't know. That's why we finna watch this video, cause they said the baby fell off. I don't really think the baby fell off, but he's not as popping as what he used to be. You feel me? But what led up to the baby falling off and shit? That's what we finna find out in this motherfucking video right here. And it is a couple things that I could think of off the top of my head. When he said the age shit and his baby mama shit. Lots of shit happened where the baby kind of fucked up his career. But we finna get into it and see.
In 2021, dababy was one of the bigger new names in hip-hop. Chart-topping hits, sold-out shows, and massive collaborations were all part of his track record. But in a span of just a few days, he went from dominating the music scene to facing severe backlash, losing major brand deals, and being pulled from festival lineups. How exactly did one of the faster, rising rappers in hip-hop take such a sudden dive? This is the story of dababy's fall-off after his controversial comments at Rollin' Loud. dababy-born Jonathan Lindell Kirk started gaining significant traction in 2019 when his debut studio album Baby on Baby shot him into the spotlight. The album's breakout single, Suge, was an instant hit, peaking at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. He took the
I ain't gonna cap to you. That shit had the high school busting, man. That shit, when he dropped that shit, I was in high school. Yeah, bro. That shit crazy because that shit kind of old now. But I kind of figured, like, listening to the baby, I didn't think he was going to be one of those rappers that was going to be, like, on. Because, he was, like, one of those, every time I see a turned-up rapper that just make turned-up music, I'll be like, I don't know if they going to last too long. Because turned-up rappers never really be lasting too long. I ain't going to lie.
industry by storm and built a lot of momentum as a result of this. dababy released his second album, Kirk, just months later, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. This release solidified his place in rap, with hits like Bop and Vibes becoming fan favorites. dababy was always quite the character, someone who exuded a lot of personality and had a very bold persona.
My daughter bring home like me, I'm beating them up. I'm for real. How you doing, sir? Wow.
That was part of his appeal. Hip-hop is, after all, a genre that thrives off of braggadocious personalities, and dababy was just that. By 2020, dababy was on top. He dropped Blame It On Baby, his third studio album, which included Rockstar, a collaboration with Roddy Ricch. Rockstar went on to become one of the biggest hits of 2020, topping the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks and achieving multi-platinum status.
I ain't gonna cap. He did switch it up with that. Like he do be switching it up. When he first came up, I didn't thought he was gonna last as long as he did. But he kind of, still lasting. But I think he ain't going to get no bigger. I feel like dababy just going to be one of those rappers. Like, lots of people going to peak out. Then they just going to be at their level that they stuck at forever. You're not stuck at a bad level, though.
Globally. dababy was performing at award shows, headlining festivals, and collaborating with major artists. He seemed unstoppable. At this point, dababy had collaborations with some of the biggest names in the industry, including Megan Thee Stallion, Post Malone, and Lil Baby. He was a staple at the award shows, and his live performances were highly rated. But just as dababy's career reached its peak, it would all start to crumble. By mid-2021, a dababy who seemed unstoppable would set off a chain of events that led to his reputation plummeting. The defining moment in dababy's fall came on July 25th, 2021, during his performance at the Rollin' Loud Festival in Miami. In the middle of his set, dababy made a series of controversial and offensive remarks that targeted the LGBTQ community.
You didn't show up today with HIV, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone like that up.
If you didn't show up with HIV and sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 to 3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up. dababy.
You see, folks says, he tripping. Because it's like, gang, you saying that shit, and you don't know shit about it, bro. I don't know shit about it, nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I know you ain't gonna die that fast, man. People was literally living with that shit. But you see, he was really targeting that shit to the LGBTQ shit. That's how they took it as or whatever, right? But you gotta understand, folks, some motherfuckers is born with that shit, you feel me? Like, that shit, some people, that's how it go. So you can't just, like, say everybody who got that shit fucked up and try to talk down on everybody. Because some people was born with that shit. Now you think, how you think those motherfuckers feeling? That you talking down on them and shit, and they was born with the shit. They didn't even have no option to even not get that shit, bro. They off the rip had that shit, gang. So you can't be saying shit like that, you feel me? Because, you don't know how people feel about that. Me personally, I ain't gonna give a fuck. Fuck dababy. Fuck you gonna hurt my feelings for. But you feel me? Some people, you feel me? That shit fuck up the brand deals and all that shit though. Cause I ain't gonna cap you talk shit about me and I got that shit. I ain't gonna fuck with you, gang. But she said, but I don't feel no type of way because you feel me. I don't got it, but I know how people, what people coming from in that shit though.
Baby told the attendees, ladies, if your private parts smell like water, put your cell phone lighter up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking DICK in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. The comments quickly went viral, sparking outrage across social media platforms. Social media exploded with criticism, and what seemed to be the entire world quickly began calling out dababy for his comments. It wasn't entirely his own fans though, as the majority of the criticism and noise came from the LGBT community. After facing initial backlash for his comments at Rolling Loud, dababy posted a series of videos and statements on social media where he appeared to double down on his remarks.
What me and my fans do at the live show, it don't concern you niggas on the internet or you bitter bitches on the internet. It's not y'all business. You know what I'm saying? Like what I do at a live show is for the audience at the live show. It'll never translate correctly to somebody looking at a little 5-6 second clip.
On top of this video where he was standing firm on his words, he also put up the following tweet on Twitter, specifically mentioning the pushback from the LGBT community, refusing to apologize to them. Anybody who done ever been affected by AIDS, HIV, y'all got the right to be upset, dababy said. What I said was insensitive even though I have no intentions on offending anybody, dababy said. So my apologies. But the LGBT community, I ain't tripping on y'all. Do you. Y'all business is y'all business. He ended it with. Advocacy groups, particularly those supporting LGBTQ plus rights and HIV awareness, condemned the statements, urging dababy to educate himself on the issues he had spoken about. Hashtags calling for his cancellation began trending on Twitter, and the controversy spread far beyond the hip-hop world, reaching main.
I ain't gonna cap, gang. This cancel culture be pissing me off. Fuck is y'all like, bro? Y'all don't got shit else better to do but then try to cancel motherfuckers. Like, bro, imagine you like, you feel me, built your name up, did all this shit to build your name up. And some motherfuckers try to cancel you because they don't like what the fuck you said and how you think. Now, all them motherfuckers that's canceling motherfuckers, if they was just at that position, they wouldn't want no one to cancel them because they beliefs and how they think. But since they don't got shit else better to do, they want to focus on trying to cancel motherfuckers. Get your life together, buddy. Get your life together. If you don't like what the fuck they saying, just don't listen to them. That's how it should be, bro. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you got to get them canceled, bro. Because believe it or not, lots of people agree with them too. Lots of people disagree. It's about how you feel. But to say your opinion matter more than other motherfuckers' opinions, nah, bro. That's just what it is, bro. Y'all can't be so sensitive about this shit. You sensitive pussy floats.
Mainstream media outlets. Aside from fans and people in general, some of his fellow artists also expressed disappointment and anger over his comments, which were widely condemned as insensitive and harmful. Major media outlets picked up the story, and the backlash grew rapidly. What was initially just a moment on stage soon became a full-blown public relations disaster for dababy. English Albanian singer and songwriter Dua Lipa, who had recently collaborated with him on a remix of her hit song, Levitating, publicly distanced herself from him. She expressed her disappointment and support for the communities that were hurt by his comments. Elton John, a longtime advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness, also weighed in, criticizing the rapper's remarks by promoting education on the subject. What started as an isolated moment during a festival performance quickly snowballed into a major crisis for dababy, one that would have immediate and long-lasting consequences for his career. Now, the backlash wasn't.
Hell yeah, bro. That shit they do get on your ass. Yo, what's the word? Oh, y'all didn't have the comment thing up. Now I can see it. But, yeah, you can't say certain shit. Like, you know, when I first started TikTok and shit, motherfucker, I made a post saying, no one don't got a problem with the LGBTQ community. Just don't force the shit. They got mad at me. And they said some things to piss me off. And then I got mad at it. I said some more things to make them even more mad. But the point is, you can't win against that community. You can't. No matter what they say, no matter how disrespectful they get, you try to argue with that community, bro. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, bro. I don't even speak on that type of shit. I said too much. I already even sent my input on this shit right now. But, you feel me? Those communities, bro, you can't speak on that shit, bro. You can't, especially as a person that get paid off your likeness and all that shit. You can't speak on religion, for real. You can't speak on, you feel me, that community shit, sexuality, whatever. And you can't speak on the people that's delusional enough to believe they women. I said too much when I said that, but you feel me? That's how it go.
Wasn't confined to just social media. As the controversy grew and the backlash intensified, the real-life repercussions to DaBaby's comments were severe. His money was now getting affected by the words he said on that stage. The music industry began to take action. Literally within days of his Rolling Loud performance, DaBaby started getting dropped from major music festivals. Lollapalooza, one of the largest music festivals in the US, was among the first to remove him from their lineup, citing the controversy as the reason. This was soon followed by cancellations from other festivals, including Governor's Ball, Day in Vegas, and Austin City Limits. For an artist who had been a staple in headlining these types of events just months prior, this wave of cancellation was unprecedented. Hip-hop had never seen anything like this until this incident happened. DaBaby's public persona undoubtedly took a serious hit, and the financial repercussions were severe. Yes, he was a rich rapper with millions at this point, but it's undeniable to say that it hit him pretty hard despite the blessed position he was in. The festivals who canceled his performances cited his comments as the reason for dropping him, which created even more festivals to follow suit, and the growing pressure from the public, fans, artists, and activists were calling for accountability. At the same time, DaBaby's commercial partnerships began to fall apart. Clothing brands and sponsorships cut ties with him.
You see, you gotta understand, bro. You gotta understand, bro. Sometimes you can't be a real nigga and speak your mind. When they come to these niggas and being on the streets and shit, bro, you can speak your mind on the streets, you could do all that, but when it come to, you know, the social media world and, you know, talking on the internet and all that shit, you can't speak your mind on certain situations. Like, yeah, people gonna look at you like, yeah, the people that agree with you, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you a real nigga, woo woo, this, that, and the third. But them niggas ain't gonna be able to give you the money like, you feel me, you gonna get if you don't speak on that certain type of shit, you feel me? Like, whether you wanna believe it or not, bro, if you wanna be successful in this industry, bro, you gotta, you know, certain things that you believe in, you can't speak on. That's just how it go, man. And you can speak on it if you want to, but most of those people that speak on the things like that, it always be kind of rough for them, you feel me? So just be smart, you feel me? Certain things you just can't speak about, like I said. And DaBaby learned the hard way. Damn.
Fearing the negative associations from the controversy. UK fashion brand Boohoo Man, that had partnered with DaBaby on a clothing line earlier in 2021, was one of the companies that severed ties, fearing the backlash would negatively affect the reputation of their brand. In a public statement, the company condemned his comments and confirmed they would no longer work with him, stating, "We do not tolerate hate speech or discrimination in any form." Burger King also had a collaboration in the works with DaBaby during that time, but they ended up dropping him for the partnership after the controversy, as stated by DaBaby himself.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to speak on this, but whatever. I had my own meal at Burger King. A lot of people don't know that. It was called the Jonathan Kirk meal. They wanted to use my name.
Several radio stations, particularly in larger markets, reduced or completely stopped playing DaBaby's music. In addition, some major streaming platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music reportedly removed his songs from prominent playlists, further reducing his ability and reach in the wake of the controversy. His life at this point simply had turned upside down, and all this had happened in the span of a single week. By early August 2021, DaBaby's career was in freefall. After some deep reflection, this is when he attempted to respond with a series of statements on social media, apologizing. DaBaby was expressing his regret for his comments and acknowledged the pain his words caused and indicated that he was willing to educate himself. The shift from defiance to apology hinted at some level of emotional processing as he came to terms with the widespread condemnation he faced. Social media moves so fast that people want to demolish you before you even have the opportunity to grow, educate, and learn from your mistakes. As a man who has had to make his own way from very difficult circumstances, having people I know publicly working against me, knowing that what I needed was education on these topics and guidance, has been challenging, DaBaby said. I appreciate the many people who came to me with kindness, who reached out to me privately to offer wisdom, education, and resources. That's what I needed, and it was received. I want to apologize to the LGBTQ plus community for the hurtful and triggering comments. Again, I apologize.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. He sounded like me when I fucking made my statement telling him, like, yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, okay, bro. Yes. I ain't gonna cap to you, bro. That's how it go, bro. Sometimes you just gotta educate yourself because you really don't know what they going through, bro.
apologize for my misinformed comments about HIV/AIDS, and I know education on this is important. Love to all. God bless, DaBaby ended it with. Despite this public apology, many felt that it came too late. Advocacy groups, including GLAAD, invited DaBaby to engage in meaningful conversations about the issues he had addressed in his remarks, but his public sentiment remained largely negative. DaBaby's apology was met with skepticism, with critics questioning the sincerity of his change of heart. Some people, including artists and fans, began to accept the apology, but the broader backlash had already reshaped the public perception of DaBaby. The controversy now defined his image, and it was unclear whether he could fully recover from it. His streaming numbers took a hit, and his music overall took a noticeable dip in popularity. The overall media narrative surrounding DaBaby was no longer about his talent or his chart success. It was about the controversy and his fallout. The long-term consequences of the Rolling Loud controversy were significant. Throughout late 2021 and into 2022, DaBaby has struggled to regain the level of success he had previously accumulated. Although he continued to release music, none of his singles or projects matched the heights of his earlier work. His songs, once guaranteed hits, failed to make the same impact on the charts, and his mainstream appeal appeared to be waning. DaBaby's live performances also took a hit. Several reports emerged.
I ain't gonna cap to you, man. I feel like that shit was gonna happen eventually, regardless whether he got canceled or not. Cause think about it, every artist damn near go through that shit. Like they used to be popping, getting all these numbers, now they ain't getting the shit that they used to. That shit just gonna happen eventually. I feel that shit just happen sooner for DaBaby because you know DaBaby wants to be DaBaby and do that shit.
Of canceled shows due to low ticket sales, a stark contrast to the packed venues he had headlined just months prior. This marked a major shift in his trajectory. Once a festival headliner and sought-after performer, DaBaby was now facing a significant decline in demand. By 2023, the effects of the controversy were still evident. While DaBaby retained a loyal core fan base, his mainstream success had clearly taken a hit. Collaborations with other major artists became less frequent, and his ability to draw larger audiences to shows diminished. Although DaBaby remained and still remains active in the music industry, the Rolling Loud incident continued to cast a shadow over his career, with some wondering if he could ever fully recover from the backlash. DaBaby's fall from grace was one of the most dramatic in recent hip-hop history. In just a matter of weeks, the rapper went from dominating the charts and headlining festivals, to his music losing popularity, to being shunned by the music industry, and facing a massive public wave of backlash. His comments at Rolling Loud in 2021 triggered a chain reaction of events that would fundamentally alter his career trajectory. Aside from the Rolling Loud comments, which severely affected his money and reputation in the ways we discussed, DaBaby also had some other moments that didn't really help his case, one of them being his sudden decline in album sales. In April of 2020, DaBaby released Blame It On Baby, his biggest album to date, which dropped at the height of his success. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 124,000 equivalent album units in its first week. This included streaming figures, with the album generating 158 million on-demand streams, which were phenomenal numbers. The album's strong sales were boosted by the success of its lead single, Rockstar, featuring Roddy Ricch, which was one of the biggest songs of 2020, and it helped drive the album's commercial performance overall. Fast forward 2 years later, in September 2022, DaBaby released Baby on Baby 2, the sequel to his breakout 2019 album Baby on Baby. The album was expected to bring him back to chart success, but it underperformed significantly compared to his previous projects. Baby on Baby 2 debuted at a lowly number 34 on the Billboard 200, selling only around 17,000 units in its first week, an enormous drop from his earlier work. In comparison to his 2020 album Blame It On Baby, which, like we stated, had debuted with 124,000 units in its first week. And this was a huge shift in the downward performance of his commercial success. DaBaby was someone who had the entire industry in a chokehold for a good 2 years. His music was everywhere and he was on top numbers wise, and now he couldn't even sell over 20K first week. Earlier that year, he also dropped another project titled Better Than You, which was a joint project with rapper NBA Youngboy. That project sold merely 30K in first week sales. In the same month as his underwhelming album sales in September 2022, DaBaby also started seeing a shift in his ticket sales. He had a concert scheduled that month in New Orleans that was canceled due to extremely low ticket sales. The concert, which was set to take place at the Smoothie King Center, a venue that holds around.
But like I said, y'all, I tell y'all this shit, bro. Name one rapper that ain't go through this. Like, y'all making it seem like this shit wasn't gonna happen if he didn't do what the shit that he did. It's gonna happen eventually. It happened to every rapper. And I guarantee he could get himself back on, too. He just gotta just get back in tune with the world on gang. His ass not in tune right now.
14,000 people, had sold fewer than 500 tickets leading up to the event. This low turnout was particularly striking given that dababy had previously been a top headliner at festivals just a year or two earlier, and he was able to pull big crowds of people. But that sadly changed. The promoters for the event eventually canceled the show, and the decision was attributed to unforeseen circumstances. However, sources reported that the real reason for the cancellation was the underwhelming ticket sales, which wouldn't be too far-fetched considering the situation he was in. The New Orleans incident highlighted the dramatic fall in dababy's popularity following the controversy surrounding his rolling loud comments and other public incidents. Despite his earlier ability to pack large venues, the drop in ticket sales reflected the diminished demand for his live performances. This event further contributed to the narrative that dababy's career had taken a steep downturn since the height of his success in 2020. Now, the album sales weren't the only thing that contributed to this fall. We do also have his violent and aggressive behavior. Now, this is something that actually fueled his popularity in a lot of ways. dababy was, after all, a rapper in hip-hop, and rappers sadly tend to be praised for their dysfunctional.
I ain't gonna cap to you. That's the reason why niggas fuck with dababy so much, is because they seen that he was a real nigga. dababy be whooping niggas ass, shooting niggas. He really gangster. And when you really gangster, motherfuckers gonna fuck with you, bro. That's what had dababy in the locks. That's what had him in tune with the world. But now, I don't know what's going on, bro. People just get tired, bro. On game, people just get tired.
Behavior in the genre. It was no different for Jonathan Kirk. Even though his behavior helped him gain popularity in the beginning, it did in the end contribute to the narrative that dababy was delivering more actual hits than musical hits. Let's go over some of those incidents, starting with the Walmart shooting. In November 2018, dababy was involved in a deadly shooting at a Walmart in Huntersville, North Carolina. The incident began when dababy, whose real name is Jonathan Kirk, was shopping with his then girlfriend and their children. An altercation broke out between dababy and two men, leading to a physical confrontation. According to reports, the situation escalated quickly and dababy shot 19-year-old Jalen Craig. dababy claimed self-defense, stating that Craig and his friend were attempting to rob him and that he feared for his life. Video footage of the incident later surfaced. Though it did not capture the entire encounter, the court decided that dababy was in fact defending himself. He was initially charged with carrying a concealed weapon, but not with the shooting itself, as authorities accepted his claim of self-defense. He was sentenced to a year of unsupervised probation for.
You see? So now you know, bro, you could have a weapon and not own it, and still win self-defense. You feel me? Because self-defense still self-defense. Now, what you use with that shit to get the self-defense, you feel me? You might get charged with that if you're not supposed to have it. But yeah, you can get self-defense with a pipe that's not legal.
For the weapons charge. While the legal consequences were minimal, the shooting attracted significant media attention, with many questioning the circumstances surrounding it. After dababy blew up in the mainstream, this was one of the main stories he was involved in that highlighted his aggressive behavior, adding to the list of controversies that have affected his public image. We also have the brutal beatdown in the LV store in 2019. In 2019, dababy was involved in an altercation at a Louis Vuitton store in Charlotte, North Carolina, with a local rapper named Cam Coldheart. The incident was caught on video and widely shared on social media. The footage showed a confrontation between dababy and Cam Coldheart, during which Coldheart repeatedly taunted dababy.
Get away! You scary ass niggas. Get away! Them police get away!
Moments later, well, dababy beat Cam Coldheart in the LV store so badly he left him with no pants on the floor.
Punk Cam Coldheart! Punk Cam Coldheart! I'm the truth, nigga. Knock them out. Me. Dolo.
This beatdown, for better or worse, boosted his street credibility and aligned dababy with the tough, aggressive persona that often appeals to rap audiences. The incident reinforced his reputation as someone who could handle confrontation, which is a quality that we all know can elevate a rapper's image in a genre where toughness and authenticity are often prized. The next violent altercation involving dababy after the LV store incident occurred in March 2020 was when he slapped a female fan at a concert in Tampa, Florida. The incident happened as dababy was making his way through a crowd to the stage. A woman in the audience got too close with her phone, using the flash in his face. In response, dababy slapped the woman with all of his manpower. This incident sparked significant outrage with fans and critics.
And I ain't gonna go cap. Folks ass was tweaking with that shit just because it's like, bro, you doing an event, motherfucker gonna have your flash and shit on, bro. If you don't like that shit, bro, don't do no shit like that, gang. Like, you can't be out here motherfucking slapping motherfuckers because they got flash in your face. That's what come with being a celebrity, a famous rapper, doing events and concerts and shit. If you can't handle that shit, motherfucker, don't do it. What the fuck? That's all you gotta do, gang. All that other shit, bro, you don't gotta do.
condemning his actions. He later issued an apology claiming he did not know it was a woman due to the flash and stating that his reaction was reflexive. Despite his apology, the incident added to his growing reputation for violent behavior and sparked further controversy surrounding his public persona. The violence continued, and in 2020 there was another incident that occurred in Miami where dababy and his crew allegedly attacked a concert promoter. It happened in January 2020, and the altercation was reportedly over a payment dispute. The promoter, who filed a $6 million lawsuit, claimed that dababy and his associates had beaten and robbed him. In addition to failing to show for an event he paid him $20,000 to host. He also claimed that dababy and his crew stole his phone, money, and debit card. In the end, he won the lawsuit as the court deemed this case as a celebrity cash grab. Now, the violence, sadly enough, didn't stop here, and in February 2022, dababy got into a physical altercation with Brandon Bills, the brother of singer Danny Lay, his then girlfriend, at a bowling alley in Los Angeles. Video footage of the incident shows dababy and his entourage attacking Bills on the slippery bowling lane, with punches being thrown and Bills eventually being knocked down. This fight, which stemmed from the public fallout between dababy and Danny, was caught on camera and quickly went viral.
Her brother gotta be nominated Goofy of the fucking year, bro. How the fuck you going trying to talk all crazy, running up on a motherfucker and get your ass beat? And then you try to sue. This nigga get his ass beat and try to sue. Like he wasn't the motherfucker acting tough talk about, yeah, I'm finna fuck him up. Niggas just goofy. I ain't gonna catch you. I know she mad as hell. That's her brother. Her brother is a goofy.
Adding to dababy's ongoing string of public altercations. The next violent encounter after dababy's February 2022 altercation with Brandon Bills at the bowling alley occurred in April 2022. dababy was involved in a shooting incident at his property in Troutman, North Carolina. According to reports, dababy shot a man who had trespassed on his property. The man sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was treated at a hospital. dababy admitted to being the one who pulled the trigger, and authorities confirmed that he acted in self-defense as the trespasser had entered his property unlawfully. The shooting incident did not lead to charges for dababy, as it was considered a case of protecting his home. This incident further fueled dababy's reputation for being involved in violent encounters, though this time it was largely seen as justified under self-defense laws. The next one after this actually happened with his own artist, Wisdom. Backstage at the Spring Jam 2022 concert in Columbia, South Carolina, video footage captured dababy unexpectedly swinging at Wisdom, who was signed to dababy's billion-dollar baby entertainment label at the time. The two exchanged punches before being quickly separated by security. While the cause of the altercation remains unclear, the incident added to dababy's growing list of public confrontations and controversies, and this one caused a lot of negative press for him because it specifically involved someone he had signed to his record label. Despite the fight, neither dababy nor Wisdom faced legal action following this incident. Aside from just the violence, he was also in another viral story during this time, which involved him forcing a kiss on a woman. In April 2022, dababy faced backlash after a video surfaced showing him attempting to kiss a female fan outside a hotel. In the video, dababy is seen leaning in to kiss the fan, but she pulls away, rejecting his advances. Despite her clear refusal, dababy tries to kiss her again. The incident
You see, folks that's drunk as hell, tweaking. That's the motherfucking problem right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. He need to cool out on that shit, bro. That's what's gonna really get him canceled, doing shit like that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Was captured by someone in the crowd, and the video quickly went viral on social media. As you can clearly see, dababy's career was full of PR disasters way before the Rolling Loud incident. This is one of the many reasons why his name started to lose power during the height of his success. Everything he did was clouded with continuous controversy, and I think people, even his own fans, just had enough of it. On top of this, a lot of people felt like he also wasn't improving music-wise, the biggest criticism being regarding his flow. dababy does have a pretty one-sided flow, which is ironically the same flow that made him popping. As for how dababy handled his sudden decline in fame and popularity, his approach overall was a mix of resistance, regret, and him coming to terms with the situation he was in. Following the fallout from his Rolling Loud comments and multiple controversies, dababy, like we showed, had a lot of tone-deaf responses. He doubled down on social media after facing backlash, often dismissing critics and refusing to acknowledge the severity of the public's response. This didn't last for long, however, as the consequences of his actions became more apparent, being dropped from major festivals labels, losing brand partnerships, and seeing a decline in music sales, reality eventually hit him in the face. He issued more formal apologies, particularly addressing the LGBTQ+ community and those hurt by his comments. These apologies were viewed as him trying to control the damage that was done to his career. Although dababy during this time did remain active musically, his music just didn't have the same commercial success as his earlier work. His album sales and streaming numbers saw noticeable drops, which reflected his diminished mainstream appeal. He's also faced struggles with live performances, such as the widely reported New Orleans concert in 2022, where fewer than 500 tickets were sold. Overall, dababy attempts to recapture his level of popularity and fame was eventually met with silence. He lost the support of the general public, radio stations, streaming services, and the big budget his record label once dumped on him, so the industry support he was used to having vanished right in front of his eyes. His career, once defined by hit singles and viral moments, is now more characterized by attempts to rebuild his public persona and navigate the fallout from his very problematic behavior. While dababy remains active in the industry, his falloff serves as a reminder of how quickly things can change in the world of hip-hop and stardom. Anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you for...
Hell yeah. That's why you gotta watch what the fuck you be saying, gang. If you don't watch what you be saying, belt, 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 belt. That's what the fuck happened, man. That's why you gotta, play your part right. Do certain things how you supposed to. Some motherfuckers won't put belt your ass on you. On game. If you don't fuck with this video, I know you fuck with this video. So go ahead and go fuck with another motherfucking video. On game, we finna get into this shit. Alright. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, bro. Okay.